Welcome back to Upper Bar Podcast. My name is Rafael de los Santos, and I'm here with Chris, Will, and Connor O'Brien. That is not the way I usually do the intro, but I got messed up, man. Okay, but you know who else messed up? Liverpool. Boom. Transition. That's crazy. Nah, but over the weekend, absolute madness. I know you guys said 3 weeks into the Prem, which is true, and that is why the table reads Arsenal, Man City, Leeds, Tottenham playing Champions League. But over the weekend, well, not even over the weekend. It was literally yesterday on Monday.
Why don't you go down a couple more? Who's playing Europa League there? Brighton?
Brighton,
and
Newcastle,
Hove
and
Albion.
Conference League, we got Fulham.
Damn.
The table's crazy right now.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about the absolute madness. The absolute madness happening in the Premier League, especially considering yesterday's result. Was it at Old Trafford?
It was. Manchester
United, Liverpool, 2-1. Madness. Chelsea sitting 12. How do you feel, Connor?
Listen,
how to work you in?
If we won, I don't know what happened. I do know what happened in the Leeds game. They wanted more. We sucked. It was a bad game.
Yeah. Is there a war going on that we don't know about?
Within the club.
Listen.
Looking for someone in the attack that can score.
Yep.
Listen.
That'd be an American.
Wolves sitting 18th in the Premier League. Leicester at 19th. West Ham 20th. What in the world? That team was literally playing Europa League, quarterfinals?
No.
Wasn't
they made it to the quarterfinals.
They lost. Didn't they lose against Lyon, or they beat Lyon?
They lost
to Frankfurt.
Frankfurt, yeah.
In the semifinal. I thought.
And now they're sitting 20th. So yeah.
Sick.
Awesome.
Declan Rice will be on the move.
He will be when is he a free agent after this year?
Oh, I don't know.
It's not even like a one-man team. There's a lot of players on there that are gonna.
They're awesome.
Their entire team is good enough to just leave them if they get relegated.
They just bought a bunch more. They spent I think 70 or 80 mil in the transfer window too. Like, we got Skamaka for 30 something mil from I'm blank, whatever club he's from in Italy. It's the Sassuolo, I think. Is that right?
Is it?
It's the same club that Raspadori's from.
Does it look like a Barca logo that's green and black?
Yes. That's Sassuolo. Yeah. Not a Serie A pod. not a Serie A pod.
Nah, bro. Yeah. You gotta get your clubs right.
Listen.
Play a little guess the club.
I do have to brush up for sure.
But yeah, today we're going to be talking about Premier League and what's going on. Absolute madness. Like I said, table is absolutely crazy right now. Arsenal, I would say Arsenal are playing exactly how I thought they would play. 3 out of 3. Insanely good signings. Zinchenko and Gabriel Jesus from Man City.
It's a team full of rejects right now that are playing really good.
Odegaard's a reject.
That's what I'm saying.
Granted, Jack wasn't a reject. He was kind of good at Mönchengladbach, and then they bought him.
Got an upgrade for him, but...
So you're wrong. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Ramsdale wasn't a reject either. Yeah. But it is their star players are certainly rejects. Little 2 goals from Odegaard, helping me out so much in fantasy right now. But yeah, I kind of wanted to focus a lot more on Man United and Liverpool because of what happened yesterday. I don't really know what Jurgen Klopp was thinking with the lineup of Harvey Elliott in the middle, alongside Jordan Henderson, James Milner. What in the world? I mean, I understand that the midfield that they're playing against isn't that good either, but
they looked good. Yeah. Made them look good. Made them look like they were a real team.
It's hilarious.
With Casemiro in the stands. So.
It's funny though, because our last episode, a lot of the changes we asked for got implemented, except for the formation, which will ultimately bite them in the butt. But bro, no Maguire, you win the game.
That's pretty telling. Like, you finally win one, you don't get blown out for once, and it's like Maguire and Ronaldo.
Cristiano didn't play.
Rashford finally. I've been begging to get Rashford up the middle on this pod for the entire time we've been doing this pod. He finally plays up the middle. He scores.
Elanga played.
Scored. Played well. Sancho had a great goal coming on the left wing.
That was this. It was good, but that was the slowest I've seen Jadon Sancho out dribble someone.
Yeah.
It was so slow.
I think the biggest question with his goal, and there was a lot of controversy about it, and it was very obvious that Liverpool defenders were arguing about it, is Van Dijk just kind of stood there. If you watch the replay, Van Dijk just stands with his back behind. He's not closing the angle at all on Sancho.
He seemed like he's getting arrested.
For what seemed like Sancho was standing there for a while. I mean, a defender goes flying in, Sancho cuts back, and Van Dijk didn't close down the angle at all. At one point, you could literally see Bruno. Bruno is the goal's right there. Kick it right here. Here's the path. Put it right there.
Yeah.
And he did. So Van Dijk's kind of had an off season, honestly.
I don't know. For that goal, I would say, like...
I'm not saying that it would have stopped
For
it.
that goal, what I would say is I understand it because he was probably expecting Gino Sancho's shot way earlier, in which case he wouldn't have had time to cut it down. So what he's thinking is, I'm going to close off this side of the goal. And
he kind of stood in the middle, though.
Yeah.
He didn't really... that's the thing. He didn't really cut off anything.
His thinking is that he needs to try to clear off the line in some way. And then, obviously, Gino Sancho ends up cutting back and what looks like more time for Van Dijk to come out and didn't. But I don't know. I don't blame him that much. I think if you let an attacker drag the ball back in your own, like, basically, like, in the keeper's box, like, you just deserve to get scored on anyways.
And Van Dijk too all season been playing next to like Nat Phillips and like Joe Gomez, who didn't play like at all last year, like the year before. Really, like he's not like, it's almost like what you saw with like Lisandro Martinez. Like he was excellent this weekend. He was very, very good in that game. But the previous 2 weeks was not very good because he was lining up next to Harry Maguire. This week he lines up next to Varane, actually gets some help from like a really solid, like a really honestly elite center back, and plays really well. Like Van Dijk doesn't have that elite center back like he's used to in like Matip or like Kanate playing next to him, and you saw like just didn't play as well, and he hasn't been playing like Liverpool's defense.
What was that? Elite center back and who?
Joel Matip.
Oh yeah, the person I picked up in fantasy and got made fun of for. He hasn't played, but
well,
by the way, the reaction from someone here was it was like I picked up Harry Maguire. So no.
Who gave you the reaction on Joel Matip? Rafa.
Because he's not good. He's not good.
What are you talking
Connor
about?
just said elite center back.
He was like player of the month in January.
Yeah, Connor also thinks Chelsea's a good soccer team. I don't know what to tell you.
Dog, they are. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Rafa, Joel Matip was like player of the month like in like January.
He's good.
He's very good.
He's good. I will say, to your point from last pod, Lisandro Martinez, he is small.
I told you.
Guy.
Dude, I
swear I could
watched him
jump over
standing
him.
next to like Varane, and I was like, oh my god, yeah, he is
bro.
tiny.
He had that block on Bruno Fernandes though.
He is tiny.
No.
I just don't get how you lose with 71% possession. That's unacceptable.
I don't know. I mean,
you know, watching that game, I mean, I don't know. It didn't feel like Liverpool really just like controlled the game like that.
645 passes to 273. It most definitely, like, it must have. I don't know what happened. I don't know what that is.
I don't know, because it wasn't like they were getting off like quality chances. I think the best chance was that corner kick that Bruno almost buried into his own net. Besides that, I don't remember any like big major moments where like De Gea had to come in clutch or anything like that.
Well, yeah, I mean that has to do with the fact that Firmino played up top, which is something that they don't.
He's beyond washed. He does not need to be playing that out-and-out striker role anymore.
Luis Diaz played the entire game. It looks like.
He did,
their
and
attack was very good.
Dallo went hard at him. Like we were on Dallo about his defense. He put him with a better pairing, and Dallo was playing hard defense. Like Luis Diaz is very much like a scrappy like winger, like you know, he's gonna fight. We've talked about it before, kind of like a nonstop motor type thing. And Dallo put him on the ground, like he was smacking.
And it's not like Liverpool had better like players on the bench. I mean, they had Fabinho. I guess it's the only world class player there. Other than that, Adrian, backup goalie, never seen the field. Simicaz, left back, never seen the field because Robertson's a monster.
Well, he got subbed in, so he did see the field a little bit.
He's probably the best player.
Not
on the
ideal.
national team.
Well, yeah, because
Just
no one
the
believes
national
on that team, bro.
Yeah. He's the only one that probably plays outside of Greece.
Nah,
There's got to be another guy, but
there's a bunch. What's his name? Mitroglou, the one that plays for Marseille, striker. He plays for them. I'm not gonna get into that right now. Fabio Carvalho on the bench, Bobby Clark, Stefan Bajcetic, Nat Phillips, Sepp Vandenberg, Harvey Davies. I'm struggling with the names, it's for a reason. Because I don't know them.
Their team is so hurt right now. That has definitely played a factor. Like they've shown a lack of scoring too. Like you're putting all this burden on Salah, especially with Sadio Mane now gone to Bayern. Like I think you've seen a lot with them so far. The reason Liverpool's like struggling scoring wise because like all this pressure is being put on Salah. You saw it this week too, like something I think is probably one of his biggest weaknesses is like he really struggles against like a fullback that can match him on pace. So with Malaysia covering him, Malaysia had him pretty solidly. I know Salah ended up scoring the end of that game.
I don't know.
The majority of that game, Salah was like very well covered by Malaysia. You saw in the Champions League final too, for Mendy had him pretty pocketed. Alaba, who can match him on pace a little bit, especially in the box. Oh, there's his face. There's his face. In the box.
Mo Salah destroyed Ferland Mendy 1v1. Forced Courtois into a save. Don't you remember? He got the ball over the top, went in. The same thing that happened to Boateng against Messi. Went in, then out, and Ferland Mendy was left scrambling. It's just Ferland Mendy didn't fall. And then Salah had that right-footed shot at Courtois. I just think you struggle when you play with Firmino and Luis Diaz. Well, not so much Luis Diaz, but if you play with Firmino, Firmino's not who he used to be, so Mo Salah obviously struggles. I think it's not a matter of like that much that Malaysia was as fast as him. I don't think that matters. No. Because Mo Salah is still good at interplay, and he's still really good at dribbling, so I think he could beat him. It's just when you play with players that aren't as good as what you used to play with,
for sure,
you struggle too. And I think it's also a matter of like that midfield row is horrendous. And we were calling for it last season. Yeah. Like Jude Bellingham, why is he not at Liverpool? There's no right answer. There's no right answer to that.
He's waiting on Madrid.
Bro, if he goes to Madrid,
if
he goes to Madrid, he's dumb. Literally, there's no point. There's so much competition at Real Madrid.
I mean, Modric is going to be there another year or two.
Yeah, and then Camavinga's waiting for him. Tchouameni's waiting for him. Ceballos, Valverde.
Cruz and Modric are on their way out. Ceballos not getting that midfield foul.
I don't think Cruz is on the way out like that.
I don't think it like that, but I think he's like getting phased out.
I don't know.
I could see. I mean, like at this point in their careers, I think I would rather have like Camavinga starting in that spot, or like Tchouameni is going to be starting in that spot now because like Casemiro is no longer there.
I mean, I don't know. At the moment, I'm for sure running Toni Kroos, Modric, Tchouameni, and then Camavinga for Kroos every now and then. Maybe Ceballos for all three of them wherever. I'm playing Toni Kroos though. But going back to Liverpool, like James Milner, Henderson, Elliott, that's not a Liverpool lineup.
There's no youth in that midfield. Well, there is youth in the midfield, but the problem is like Harvey Elliott's not a midfielder.
I don't even think that's a competitive like middle three. Like what team would you expect to have that middle? Like Bournemouth.
I mean, Brentford has a better midfield than that. Like Brighton was like pulling out like better midfielders than like that squad. Like
I don't know. It's just horrible. Like it kind of makes sense why they lost to United. I mean, Mo Salah still scored regardless, but
yeah.
I think, what does this mean for United? What do you guys think? Does this mean anything? Like, you're getting Casemiro, so I'm guessing Eriksen's not going to play CDM, or McTominay's going to get benched?
I would say maybe McTominay's going to get benched. I think that probably is more like they go back to more of like the bracket style. Like Casemiro's in the middle, and then you play like Bruno and like Eriksen, sort of in like those like other midfield roles, kind of play like how City plays. I think you're seeing the like, like when you watch a movie and like it like the first like 30, 40 minutes just isn't good. Yeah. And then like it just picks up halfway through the middle. It's like the director kind of found his vision. Like he kind of like finally was like, okay, now we can get to like what I want to shoot. It kind of feels like that with like Ten Hag. Like he finally was like, I'm not playing Maguire anymore. Malaysia's playing over Luke Shaw. Ronaldo's bench. We're not like Rashford's gonna play up the middle. He's finally playing the way he wants to play, and it worked out really well. And they ended up beating Liverpool. It's like there was a report that came out over the weekend. Or a couple weeks ago, that like after they lost to Brentford, that all the United players were gonna have to run that distance. Over the weekend, that came out that they were allegedly very upset about that, and then Ten Hag came out and ran that distance with them too, and then they bought into Ten Hag. So now they're like Ten Hag like finally has them on his side. He's like, we're holding you responsible. They're buying into his vision, and I feel like that kind of showed over the weekend. Like it's kind of finally like his team, like what he wants. And I think that's why they beat Liverpool.
I think that not like what I'm about to say has nothing to do with like why I think they beat Liverpool. Like you're probably right, but I think that this result doesn't mean much to United. Of course, it's 3 points, and in terms of points, yeah, it means a lot. But in terms of are we on the up now? Are we are we where we want to be now? I don't think so. I still think that even the lineup they put out, that's a weak lineup. Like that's never gonna compete. I think that it's cool to see that he started the guys that he brought in, like Eriksen in Malaysia, and he gave Elanga a chance, and Jadon Sancho was able to do something on the field for once in his life, or once in his United life. I'm happy to see Varane back there again because I have no idea why he wasn't. I'm glad to see Maguire get dropped. Those are all good changes. I don't know. I'm a big Cristiano Ronaldo fan, so it's good that Marcus Rashford got on the field and did something with the fact that he was on the field, but if Rashford hadn't scored, we'd be saying like, damn, bro, Cristiano should have played.
Yeah, let's not let like a single game totally like flip the script on United season because I don't think they're totally out of the clear yet. I mean, it's a great win, obviously. Do it again against Liverpool when you play them next time.
Not even against Liverpool. I mean, to win. I mean, their goal probably isn't to win the Prem.
No,
but to be top 4, you're gonna have to do it a lot.
You gotta beat the teams that you're supposed to beat. They hadn't done that to this point. That's still a problem. So I'll believe it when I see it. I think they played with a lot more passion this past weekend. I think they played with a lot more excitement and intensity this weekend. I think adding Casemiro to that lineup will be very beneficial.
I think this is going to cause more problems.
What do you think is going to cause more problems?
Here's my thinking, right? So unless you straight up do like for like and bench McTominay for Casemiro in this 4-2-3-1 with 2 CDMs, 3 attacking mids, and a striker, right? If what you're going to do is bring in Casemiro for McTominay and play 2 holding midfielders and Christian Eriksen on the left and Casemiro on the right, your team's going to become better, obviously, because Casemiro is not even the same galaxy as McTominay, but it's just not. Casemiro, I don't know. I want to see Man United play a 4-3-3. I'm hell-bent on seeing them play a 4-3-3. That is the best formation in soccer. And I think a 4-2-3-1 is just not good. 2 holding midfielders is just dead. Like that's what you play in like Eredivisie. Like you don't play that in high-level soccer. It just doesn't work.
And we'll have to see what they come out with because obviously, like you said, like Casemiro's a different type of player, so that may force a different lineup from Ten Hag. So I mean, if Casemiro finds his way into the lineup this weekend, it may be a different story. So we'll see. I think Eriksen looked pretty good yesterday. So I think a like for like switch of McTominay for Casemiro, drop Casemiro a little more central defensive. Let Eriksen and Bruno be creative up top.
Yeah,
I don't know. To me, this is like it's almost like they won a game at training. If I'm done, I'm telling myself this doesn't mean anything. We need to work as.
It doesn't because what place are they in with this win? They're ahead of Liverpool, which is a whole nother story.
They're sitting 14th.
But yeah, they've got 3 points in 3 games.
I mean, an interesting wrinkle I saw too. They could play Fred and Casemiro together. They've started 17 games together for Brazil, 13 wins.
That's Brazil.
I know it's Brazil, but like, I get it's Brazil, but like on the national stage too, the teams that have to play like Argentina, like they're playing like well. Like they have like I think it's 15 clean sheets in those games, right?
The thing is, Brazil. Yeah. You got to remember that Brazil qualifying for the World Cup, so the most recent Brazil games.
Yeah,
they were like number 1 in qualifying by far. I think they were undefeated.
Yeah.
Because that Brazil team is Brazil. That's what I mean. Like that's Brazil. One thing is having like basically the most informed Eder Militao there's ever been, playing behind you with like next to maybe Thiago Silva, with like Renan Lodi, a left back, or a bunch of really informed players. Like their attack is insane. Especially now with Gabriel Jesus. We're not even thinking about that. Gabriel Jesus for Brazil with like Neymar and Vinicius. This is gonna be so crazy. But I don't know, bro. I'm really excited to see what happens with Casemiro at United because I don't know. I don't like that lineup. I think this was a very doable game because Milner, Henderson, Elliott is literally unacceptable. But at the same time, they do have a lot of injuries. So like, what can they do? But to that, I say what they should have done was bring in Jude Bellingham.
They should. I agree with you. He's probably waiting on Madrid. But yeah. Jude Bellingham should be in there. Go get like a young guy. Get like, even if you're looking for like you could probably get like Declan Rice.
Of course,
like anybody in there. Like Calvin Phillips that was like available for like 40 mil. He's an excellent midfielder. Like go get him. Why don't you have like a, I don't know, like even like a Conor Gallagher in that midfield would be incredible.
Liverpool needs to start making signings, like big team signings. I think Konate was a big team signing. Other than that, like Luis Diaz was a big team signing. Darwin Nunez, big team signing. They've done it, but I think they just
like quit buying attackers and like put money.
They needed attackers because they did.
I agree with you, but there's a point where it's like
to neglect that midfield was
it's terrible.
Negligence.
Yeah.
It was negligence.
I mean, what does this say about Mane's weight at Liverpool?
I don't think it's that, bro. I think if Darwin Nunez plays this game, the outcome could have been different.
I mean,
Firmino was there last year.
having that second star. Like,
Firmino's not a new player.
I know, but Firmino was bad to the point where he would get subbed in at midfield. He would start games at midfield. Like he wasn't playing attack. He was nowhere there. Remember, Diogo Jota was like second leading scorer in the Prem for a decent amount of time.
Yeah. So I mean, we agree that like this offense is like upgraded, right?
Yeah, I think technically because of
this isn't the same offense though.
Nunez,
I mean, the offense hasn't been like that.
I mean, I think it helps them, like especially Salah, like taking pressure off him by having another like really like Luis Diaz is excellent, Jota's excellent, Darwin Nunez is excellent. Like they're all going to be stars in their own right.
Well, I think Jota's hurt right now, right?
He is hurt. Yeah, so. Nunez is suspended. Diaz is still playing, but like
and Thiago's hurt as well.
Yeah, having their presence in there takes pressure off Salah because you have other guys to bounce off from. Like Firmino being in there does nothing, and like also it's like Salah's a star. Mane is a star. I think it's fair to say the other three guys in that attack are not really stars, and like having that extra pressure on Salah to be in there, like he gets defended more, he gets focused on more. That's focus that you need to put on Mane, and that's not going like mostly to Salah. You don't really have to worry about Firmino in that same way.
Mane's really good. Like everyone knows, he's a world class player. He scores big games, yes, but I think it is. There's no way you can say that he hasn't been like quote unquote replaced. Like obviously Mane is Mane and there's no way to replace that player, but they literally bought Diaz, who plays his position, which would be what a normal team does to replace a player that left, and then on top of that they got Darwin Nunez, and on top of that they got Diogo Jota. So have Liverpool done what they need to do to replace Mane? Of course.
Yeah. And on paper, they
replaced. Yes, but the problem at the same time, the only argument people can make for like, oh, Mane like he hasn't been replaced. Like look at Mane, he's scoring so many goals at Bayern. Yeah, bro.
That's irrelevant.
So would I at Bayern. Yeah, you know, like I would score a bunch of goals at Bayern too. Firmino probably score at Bayern.
The only table that is probably in like all of Europe that's probably going to stay the same as of right now is just Bayern at the top.
Like okay,
14 goal differential. Right They're the only team in Bundesliga that's won all three of their games.
Here's what I mean: if Mane had gone to Juventus and he hadn't scored a single goal yet, would be like, oh, Mane's doing trash too right now though. Like, so it wouldn't really matter, and then the argument would be dead there. It doesn't matter. Like Mane could have played this game. Is he gonna win with that midfield? No. There's no like that is so. That's probably the worst depth there is in a second place team in all of Europe.
Their depth is hurt. Like Firmino and Harvey Elliott are supposed Jota's supposed to be the depth. He's hurt. Like Darwin Nunez is suspended.
Bro, your midfield depth is James Milner, who's old as time, bro. Yeah. Henderson is just not it. Harvey Elliott is actually a winger, and he's really young. He's not.
Yeah, I don't know why Klopp keeps insisting on playing him in midfield. Like I think that's so weird. I think he just wants that creative presence there because he only really plays when Thiago's not in there. Bro,
you remember the Liverpool that used to be like Wijnaldum, then you had Ox, then you had Henderson, then you had all these players. You had a lot of depth. All the really good teams have a lot of depth. Look at Real Madrid. No, there's no midfield deeper in Europe than Real Madrid. Look at Barca's midfield, really deep. Obviously, you have teams like Man City, who are just deep everywhere. But that's who you want to compete with. Like Liverpool ended up second place last year. That's who you're trying to compete with, Man City. And
I think we talked about this a little bit previously. Depth, especially this season, is going to be so vital because we have domestic leagues, domestic competitions, European competition. Then we're going to take a break for the World Cup. And then after the World Cup, we're going to go right back to all this. Depth is going to be crazy necessary for teams to just survive this season. Because it's going to be crazy. It's going to be really bad on people's health, especially playing in Qatar. So depth is going to be necessary. So I think the deepest teams are going to... obviously, the deepest teams are going to typically perform well, but I think the gap is going to be even bigger.
Yeah, I mean, I told you teams to look out for. You have Barca. That attack is six man deep for a 3-pronged attack. 6 guys. Their midfield is crazy deep as well. Like we're talking about left wing. What you got? Ansu Fati. You could play Rafinha. Let's say that's the left wing. Aubameyang, Lewandowski in the middle. Dembele, Ferran Torres. You go to the midfield. You got Kessié, Frankie De Jong, Gavi, Pedri, Busquets. That's 5 guys, and that's off the top of my head. And they loaned out Nico. Like they could have had 6 if they wanted to. You look at Real Madrid. obviously Vinicius, Benzema, Valverde starting now. Then you got Rodrigo. Then you got Asensio, Mariano. I guess midfield. We already talked about it. Insanely deep. You're Liverpool. You're playing against who? Man City's your competition, right? Because they finished above you last year. They went and got Erling Haaland. What did you do? You made your attack stronger. That's smart. But why not help out your weakest point, which is your midfield? Why not go out and get Jude Bellingham? He's literally English. Like, it's such a perfect match. I'm not understanding this. It was the same thing with, like, Erling Haaland. Like, I thought he'd leave Dortmund immediately, and then he stayed an entire year. Like, I don't get what it is. Like, why did no one go out and get Christopher Nkunku from Leipzig? It just makes no sense to me.
Yeah, and I think the weirdest thing about the Haaland thing is he, like, stayed another year, but didn't have a season that would necessarily, like, up his value that much. But people still.
It was because of his. I think it was because of his contract. Like, if they wait another year, they were gonna be able to get him for like 60 million, and then boom, it works out. No. Like, and Nkunku has a year left in his contract, so after this summer, he's gonna be able to go for free anywhere. So I guess that makes sense. But at the same time, bro, if you're Liverpool, and you're trying to compete for the Champions League, and this is your objective every single year, then you should be doing whatever is necessary to make that happen. Like when Real Madrid wanted to go out and get Hazard because they needed Hazard badly because Cristiano had left, and they played an entire season without Cristiano, and it was just not working out. They could have waited another year and got a Hazard for free, but they went out and paid for him because that's what teams do. You need to be competitive every single year, and for Liverpool to sit here and be like, you know what? Granted they have their injuries. For Liverpool to sit there and be like,
I feel like it's only gonna get worse.
I know, but for Liverpool to sit there and be like, yeah, we can.
No, I know.
Play with this team it's
like if they're injured at this point in the season,
it's gonna be like a couple of years ago when they finished like.
Imagine.
Fourth.
Maybe they need a new like physio or something because.
Well,
they all have asthma. Have you heard this conspiracy theory? I find it so fascinating. Have you heard it?
No, what is it?
Dude, apparently, like, what's the percentage? It's like 60%.
There's like it's in like a weirdly high. Like Darwin Nunez has asthma. Like all these guys at Liverpool have asthma.
I'm gonna throw out a random percentage because I don't have the percentage off the top of my head.
It's more than 50, I think.
It's definitely more than 50.
Yeah.
I'm gonna like randomly say like 60% of their roster has certifiable asthma. Meaning that they qualify to get basically like inhaler, which would typically be like, I don't know, performance enhancing drug for like anyone else. But like because they're certified as like having asthma, like they all are able to take that. But I mean, it's so irrelevant, but I just find that conspiracy so funny. Everyone thinks that Liverpool is just like lying.
Well, there's the thing with their physios too, like during COVID, like they laid off, I think almost their entire like physio staff. And then you saw like that season, like the restart, and the following season, like their team was like the entire. Like I think they finished fourth like that season after they did that because like their entire team was hurt. And since then, like they've had like crazy injury luck since then.
They're gonna have to put a lot of faith in the national teams to take care of their players too, because they're gonna come back. I mean, Trent's gonna get a lot of minutes for England, I'm sure. Obviously Salah isn't going.
Some of these guys are getting a break. Yeah,
Salah might. Yeah,
like
Salah might come back.
Fabinho will be there. Like Henderson will probably be there on legacy.
Van Dijk will be there.
Van Dijk will be there. Alisson will be there. Yeah.
Their entire team's gonna be at the World Cup. Like Luis Diaz not going because of Colombia, but Firmino's probably gonna be there. Brazil. Mo Salah ain't going nowhere. Diego Jota's going for Portugal. Darwin Nunez is going for Uruguay. Mm-hmm. Their whole team's going, bro. This is gonna be worse than the African Cup of Nations, bro. It's gonna be exodus. But I guess Mo Salah's gonna get the biggest break of his life. He's gonna come back like a monster.
Yeah,
probably.
Or his form's gonna drop off.
He's getting a month vacation.
This is gonna be the weirdest season on planet Earth. Never again do I want to see a World Cup like this. World Cup is in the summer. I want my soccer in June and July.
Yeah, it's weird having a summer without soccer. Like there needs to be like some form of like.
What do you mean? The MLS was right there.
Are we in MLS?
Was it not enough? MLS wasn't enough for you?
My weekly MLS game was not enough for me. Now, as an Orlando City fan,
if I ever go to a soccer game and I hear the fans chanting, "Fight and win," I'll walk out.
I mean, Orlando City got rid of DK and Mueller. Like, why am I watching? Nani's not there anymore. Like, I got nothing to root for. Well, I'm supposed to root for Facundo Torres. Dude. That's a deep MLS shout, by the way.
A Ballon d'Or winner was
Junior
Orlando City right there. Kaká.
I was a huge Kaká guy, but he was kind of.
Don't do it. Don't do it.
I'm not gonna do it. Michael's not here. That's a Michael. Michael in spirit.
Sorry, Rafa's looking at
us.
Jesus Christ!
I can't believe I.
If you want to see a cool atmosphere in the MLS, though, go to an Inter Miami game. It feels like you're in South America. It's actually crazy.
I would not have said that Inter Miami was the best atmosphere in the MLS. That's
No,
interesting.
you forgot about Nashville. You forgot about.
Oh, I mean,
Atlanta.
I didn't say it was. I said if it
Well,
was like you're in South America.
Well, I mean,
Yeah. Inter Miami's fun.
Inter Miami's
DeAndre
fun.
Yedlin going to the World Cup.
No, and the Inter Miami atmosphere is really
Breck
cool.
Shea.
They don't even have like a real stadium at the moment.
It's coming though.
Kieran
It's
Gibbs.
coming and it's gonna be
With
expensive.
that,
It's gonna be
David
disgusting.
Beckham.
It'll probably, to be fair, in my opinion, because it depends on how you like your soccer. If you want to hear fans chanting "fight and win," then you can go somewhere else. But if you want to hear like trumpets and like drums and like
Yeah.
with the flares and stuff,
Dude, I think like the Miami when Miami hosts the World Cup, it'll probably be like the best atmosphere.
oh yeah, especially
would
if
be
you
crazy.
play like if you strategically place a lot of South American
teams.
games.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. They
And-
gotta be strategic. Don't put like I don't know. Like
Hey
Miami.
man,
it's gotta be
I
like-
mean, I want to go to any game. That's
It's gotta be like
Oh,
like
I'm
Uruguay
definitely
or
gonna
something.
try and go. But if they
Yeah.
put like I don't know, Colombia versus.
I mean, Colombia's not going, but pop off.
Listen, they got some time. You never.
Isn't
know.
there? Aren't there two South American? No, there's not. 'Cause it's not other.
Brazil versus Argentina in
Uruguay
Florida.
would go.
That'd be crazy,
That would be.
dude.
That would be. That, might
would
break,
be nice.
That might
That
break
would
a
be nice.
stadium.
Dude.
What venue do we think hosts the final? I know this is random, totally off topic.
They haven't said it at all. Like,
No.
It's.
They like just recently announced which one was gonna host it in Qatar.
I would put it. I mean, it kind of makes sense. Is SoFi gonna be one of those stadiums? 'Cause
Yeah, SoFi.
Yeah.
I guess
probably,
that's like
yeah.
the common sense one because it's like the best.
It's the best
like, the most
stadium in the United
expensive
States,
one.
yeah.
If they do something stupid, like put it in like
It's like
it was something in the Northeast. And
Boston.
that would
Boston got
that would
Boston.
piss me
Boston
off.
is not.
That would
the,
piss me
Boston's
off.
not the
No,
spot.
but I don't think Boston would.
I think.
Could you imagine like Uruguay playing like Senegal there? That's a terrible spot to have that. Like that's like
We're
like,
talking
you
World Cup finals.
so
No, I know, I know.
Look, I think to be completely honest, if you don't put it in SoFi and you don't put it in Atlanta, then you have to put it in like Mexico, like in a real soccer stadium like Estadio Azteca, like something like very.
Well, I mean, it's the
Traditional or
two.
something.
It
has to be in the US
cities.
probably, right?
They
It's
only
like
have two
Mexico's
cities,
games
right?
will probably be.
Well,
in
yeah,
Mexico.
because it's technically like U.S. is technically hosting it, and they kind of just allow.
Yeah, I don't think
Canada
they
and
would ever.
Mexico.
Yeah, they wouldn't let Mexico. How like
Nah.
if the U.S. is in it, they're probably gonna. I don't know how that works, like money wise. They bid more money, but if the U.S. is in it, they're probably gonna take
Well,
the final.
no, like the U.S. is technically like the host, and they just like allowed the other ones to take it. So the U.S. is going to be the one to eventually get the World Cup final.
So to answer your
I
question,
agree.
yeah.
I think Atlanta should get it because
Atlanta does have a crazy soccer atmosphere.
Atlanta has a great soccer atmosphere, and in terms of just like proximity, like it's really easy to get to the stadium and stuff. It's a really nice stadium as well. SoFi's had their opportunity. They hosted a Super Bowl. They did all that. But I think the U.S. is going to pick SoFi because I think they're going to want to show off their techie stadium thing.
Yeah.
but
I was surprised Nashville.
it can't be played on turf, right? Like that's got to be a FIFA.
No,
rule.
I think that is a rule.
No,
yeah.
it's well, real soccer is played
not
on
artificial. I mean,
on,
not artificial turf.
Yeah.
It's played on a mix of turf and real grass.
Yeah.
Like the Bernabeu is turf and real grass.
Like if we're gonna play in Atlanta, we're not gonna play on like Atlanta United's field because
They play on turf straight up.
straight up
Yeah. So the
That's
Falcons not redo their thing.
like
Illegal.
reflective out of your mind.
Yeah.
Like it glows.
That's illegal.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. And
like
you'll
when,
say, like,
it was
you
funny
see
when
it,
Zlatan
yeah.
came, he was like, "I'm not playing on that."
Well, you see that too. Like Atlanta does have like consistent injuries in their squad, and like other MLS teams that don't play on turf like don't have that same luck. Like, maybe that's just a coincidence,
Dude.
but like
Get you some turf.
Where did
Yeah,
Miles
they don't-
Robinson? He tore his Achilles.
yeah, he tore his Achilles in Atlanta.
It wasn't Atlanta.
Yeah.
Damn.
Like
That's really unfortunate for the U.S.
Almiron had injuries there.
Dude, he scored against
Joseph
City. He
Joseph
scored
Martinez
against
missed
City.
a year. Yeah.
What was the stat? I think all three people that scored against City this weekend all came from the MLS.
No shot.
I think
That
that
was
was
in
no. I
MLS.
think that was against Chelsea.
Never mind.
It's definitely
it was
Chelsea because
Chelsea.
it's like Jack Harrison.
Yeah, it was.
It's like involved in every goal. It's like Jack Harrison scored one, and then Jack Harrison scored and assisted, and then Brendan Aronson. And there was like 4 players from, if you count, and Jesse Marsh too as coach. Like
Let's go.
Jack Harrison played, Brendan Aronson, Tyler Adams, like huge MLS influence on this game.
Yeah.
MLS sucks. All right, so I'm just kidding. They do, but
It's
no,
a fun-
you don't have to put the just kidding thing in.
It's
there.
a fun,
okay.
it's a fun, it's a fun league. It's like watching like Mountain West football. You know, like they're just not
It's
like
the Pac-12 at night type thing.
It's Pac-12 night. You're watching like,
Like,
Hawaii.
eh,
You're watching like
it's
Hawaii.
there.
You're watching Hawaii like Cal State.
It's there.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun.
I guess if you've sat there and consumed time of your life while entropy is happening and sat there and watched an MLS game, right? Before you put on a La Liga game, you know, just bungee jump with it around your neck.
I will say, I think I would rather watch, like, I don't know, like, Seattle, like, Nashville over, like, over, like, Elche, like, whoever.
Yeah, that's why you like Chelsea, bro. That's what it is.
I don't want to watch, like, Elche, like, Getafe. I have no interest.
That sounds like a terrorist. That's not like that's not how you say that.
Is it Getafe?
Getafe.
That still sounds like a terrorist.
No.
I'm having a bad run on the pod today with the. Oh my.
People aren't going to understand how much was cut from this episode.
Oh, I know. It's not the Batgirl. If Batgirl's not going to cancel me, like, this is for sure going to cancel me on the pod. I'm not having a good run.
Back to your regular schedule.
Bring
us back to the promised land, Rob. Please.
Back to the English Premier League.
Yes.
Nothing, man. There isn't much to be said about that Liverpool Manchester United game. I think it's I don't want to say it's a fluke win, but it's definitely not a. It's like you know those kids when they score against you, or like that guy on the soccer team when you score a goal and he's like, it's 0-0. You know what I'm talking about? Like that one guy on the team where you score and you're up in the game 1-0 and they're like mentality, it's 0-0. Like, no, it's not, bro. It's 1-0. Shut up. But yeah, that's how I think Man United should take this game. They have to be that guy. You know, they won, but dude, act like you're about to get relegated in this last game.
Stay
Every
humble.
single time you play. I think Ten Hag should definitely listen to this podcast and try out 4-3-3 because I swear to God, you'll win every game. Casemiro playing as a lone CDM is going to be way better than Casemiro playing as a second CDM because I swear, mark my words, as soon as you pass Casemiro that ball, he's going to lose it if they put any pressure on him. And all the Premier League is pressure and fast play. And that's why La Liga is better. But go ahead.
No way we loop back to La Liga is better.
That's why La Liga.
There's no way we loop back to La Liga. We will never escape.
La Liga's more technical.
We'll never escape this topic.
La Liga's way more technical than the Prem. There's no debating that. That's why the last 10 Champions Leagues. Let's see, what year are we into? 2012. Yeah, it's a majority of them is La Liga, obviously.
Well, I mean, if you look at Champions League finals, I think I'm gonna pull the stat on my butt, but like, if you look at Champions League finals in the last 10 years, where like a La Liga team played a Prem team, I think it's 500. Like, I think it's like 50-50.
And how many of which La Liga teams were in those finals?
Madrid,
Atletico Madrid, Real Madrid, Barcelona.
So you've had Liverpool, City, Tottenham, Chelsea, just in the last 10 years.
One more. If you switch it to Europa League, it's even better for La Liga.
It's like Arsenal been in that place before. Like, you've seen like not like quite there, but like you've seen like Arsenal in like European finals. You've seen like
you've also seen Nottingham Forest win the whole thing, but like that's
no one
cares about that. What?
We can't go back to this topic.
It's like saying like Pele's the best player on earth. You know what I mean? It's just not true.
If you're a New York Cosmos fan, he is.
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. George Best is also amazing, man.
Some people
Amazing
love
in the liquor
stat
store.
patters. Played against like the U.S. Naval Academy.
Yeah. He's playing
Put that on his international goal count.
Look, basically, United and Liverpool.
He's playing a friendly against like Wisconsin women's soccer and like.
All right.
Stat
The
padding.
YMCA.
The YMCA.
United
YMCA
and
of
Liverpool.
the Greater Oklahoma area.
United and Liverpool. Dude, Tottenham's sitting fourth, and Arsenal's sitting in first. So you're gonna have a new top four easily this season, and Chelsea and Man United and Liverpool and West Ham and Leicester City, all those guys have to figure out what they're doing because they're doing it wrong.
I mean, speaking as a Chelsea fan, I think like what you've seen is Chelsea's biggest problem is like Kai Havertz sucks right now. So when you don't have like Tuchel, especially the way he plays, you need that like central striking force to like kind of hone in. It's almost like Harry Kane for Tottenham. Like, you need that strong central guy to get in there and really like pressure the ball, move the ball, get in there, be the main goal scorer. And that was supposed to be Lukaku. Lukaku obviously is not there anymore. Like, that was supposed to be like Timo Werner. Timo Werner didn't work out in that role. Bro is hurt. Like, not having that central striker in Tuchel's system, I think, is the reason why like Mount can't really do anything right now. Like, Sterling's getting the ball up and then he has nowhere to go. And he did have moments where he played really well the last 3 weeks, but like the fact that Chelsea is now 3 match days in with the amount of money they've spent on like their attacking, like their attack, and none of our goals have come from our attack. I think it speaks to like the need for a striker, but I also think it speaks to like the system we're playing is like really just not great without that striker and without like you're just being like Raheem, bring the ball up, Mount, bring the ball up, like figure it out. That's kind of the system right now. Like it's really just weird and disjointed right now, and we just need to
go out and get Iago Aspas. Simple.
Iago Aspas. Simple. I'm gonna Aubameyang.
It's just
I'd rather have Aubameyang.
I'd rather Real Madrid disintegrate than do something like that. Like for you to see that Aubameyang was absolutely trash at Arsenal and he's already old, and for you to bring him back to the Prem to try to help your team, I just don't like it.
Genuinely, who I want, I know we're not gonna get is Patrick Schick.
Why not?
Because they're just like we just don't have any links to him. They want like Boley and like the new guys like Tuchel want like a really big name. Like every single guy now has to be like this like huge name, or they've got to be like some like U19-year-old that's gonna like 5-star or whatever, like FIFA, like I don't know, but like it's like I just want like Patrick Schick. Like he's proven like he was second in goals in Bundesliga last year. Like he's had excellent like European stretches. Like
you know who you should get?
That's who I want. I think
like
he'd be solid.
The super under the radar guy that would fit your system perfectly. Like a really tall striker that can win headers as well. He's French. Olivier Giroud.
He would have been great. You know, another like really tall guy that would have been excellent at Chelsea, English guy, but he plays over in Italy now, Tammy Abraham. Really tall guy, you can bring the ball right to him. Like, I don't know why he hasn't been at Chelsea yet. Like, Giroud, too. Like, those guys would have been excellent at Chelsea together. Like, just as a central, like, there's great focal points, drive the ball in, yeah.
Yo, just get Hazard back on.
No. Actually, no, I think he's washed. I don't think it's like a change of scenery. I just think he's washed. I think he's washed.
It's just La Liga's
he missed. I saw him miss the pen. Like he's washed. He needs to go play for like Marseille.
La Liga's too hard.
Go play for like. He needs to go back to Lille. That's the shout. Or go play for like West Ham. Go play for West Ham.
Go back to London. You run so much after the ball, you lose a lot of weight, and then you start playing again.
Go play. You can go play for Fulham. It's not even like I don't love. He'll always have a special place in my heart. I'll love him forever, but like. I can't bring him back at this point. Listen, after I've seen him like,
just free Pulisic and then we can talk. Let him go.
He needs to go to Leeds. Send him to Leeds.
Dude. Leeds is getting so much clout.
Bro, swap deal him for Bamford. I'm 100% down for. That's fine by me. I want Pulisic as a U.S. men's team like fan. I want him to play. Tuchel's never gonna play him. Free Pulisic. I'm all as a Chelsea fan, as a U.S. fan. I'm all on board for that. He deserves to play. He's a great player. We need a striker. Pulisic for Bamford. Get him to a team that like Jesse Marsh loves him. Like,
I mean, yeah, but I mean, after watching the Leeds game, the only thing I can say is like, dude, Leeds was running at 100 miles an hour that entire game, and Chelsea was just moving slow.
Yeah,
like too many touches on the ball.
Is Leeds Leicester City reincarnated? Yes or no?
They're not winning the title, if that's what you mean.
If I would have asked you this about Leicester City back in 2015 or 2016, you would have said the same thing.
I know. But I think the thing is, like,
no,
there's like every year in Prem, there's a team that finishes like top 6 that like does not deserve. Like, it's like a smaller.
You got me thinking now.
It's a smaller.
We're trying to compare this because you know in like hindsight 2020 vision, I could tell you that Leicester City team actually had some really good talent, but is that only because they won the league? Like, we are sitting here now like, Rodrigo's pretty good.
It's only because
most informed player in
It's only because you're looking back at it.
That's what I'm saying. Like, hindsight, like, obviously, like, you know, if you'd asked me before before that season, would I have said that, like, oh, well, N'Golo Kante's pretty good?
I think he was on loan the year
they got promoted 13, 14. Okay. So 14, 15.
14, 15, they came in 14th?
And then 15, 16, they won the Prem.
Dude, that's wild. Damn, so that could be Leeds. They were promoted. They were promoted the year before last. Where'd they finish last year? Was it 14th?
If it's 14th,
dude, I'm putting all my money down. I'm going to Vegas right now.
I just did it a couple years ago.
Like 17th. Dang it! Now I'm
you're questioning it. I just could see.
What are their odds? Are they 1,000 to 1?
Like 6th.
I don't know, bro.
If it's 1,000 to 1, I might put it down.
I could see Leeds running it.
I mean, Rodrigo would be Jamie Vardy. Then you have like Brendan Aronson as what?
Brendan, he's the Mahrez.
Okay, so what is
Brendan Aaronson's the Mahrez? Is Dan James the Mahrez, or is he? He's Shinji Okazaki, realistically.
Okazaki was like trash though. He was really.
I mean,
He's the left. Oh, Jack Harrison.
Jack
Harrison's probably the Mahrez.
I don't know.
He's kind of got to be.
They're just not.
Leeds have a lot of good players though. Like their goalie's really
Tyler Adams is the Conte. That was a great shout. I guess Brendan.
I will never say Conte and Tyler Adams in the same sentence, bro.
Tyler Adams is good. He was. I mean, arguably Leeds' best player, and that's really saying something over the weekend. He was excellent for them. He's everywhere in that midfield.
Look, I don't think it's gonna happen because I think Arsenal is just.
And there's no way they beat out Arsenal and City, right?
I mean, Arsenal's gonna get a rude awakening when they have to play
They
City.
have to beat them directly. I don't even know, dude.
That's the other thing. Arsenal hasn't really played like a real team
They haven't.
yet.
I still think.
So,
Bro, they
they're
still played insanely.
No.
well.
I'm not saying they're not bad.
They've
They've taken advantage of the teams that they're supposed to take advantage of. I can't poop on that.
I mean, what do you mean? They played. I mean, Crystal Palace is a decent team in the Prem. They were.
You know what? Tied Liverpool.
They're supposed to beat them. They're supposed to beat them. I'll give them that.
Yeah.
But Leicester City's a really good team in the Prem. Like last year, Arsenal plays Leicester City. Any one of them could win. And they beat them 4-2, bro. Yeah, bro. Any one of them could win. I would say Leicester City has a better chance of beating Arsenal last year.
I don't know.
Depends on when in the year. But
I still think top four, like 3 weeks in now, will probably be like City, Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea.
Bro, so biased. How do you work Chelsea?
They're gonna buy a striker. What are you talking about?
City, Arsenal. Wait, you said
we should have beaten Tottenham.
Dude, is it okay?
Break that down again. Break that down again. What you just said.
City, no one's beaten City.
At what point?
City,
You said at what point in the
okay.
season?
3 weeks in.
We're 3 weeks in. Yes.
I feel like if I had to redo my top four prediction
for the end of the season.
For the end of the season.
Okay.
It'd be City. No one's getting past City.
Okay.
Arsenal.
Okay.
Tottenham. Chelsea.
Bugging.
Okay. So we have this on record.
Yeah. My thing with Chelsea is that we're gonna buy a striker. That's our biggest.
First of all, you have 8. You realize you have 9 days to buy a striker. You realize that, right? Yeah. Otherwise, you're gonna get him in spring.
We've talked to Aubameyang for like 3 weeks. We're fine.
Aubameyang is not
he's proven. He can get us we just need like 10, 15 goals out of a striker.
That's a lot.
That's all we need. How many did Ronaldo score last year? 18?
Bro, like 19.
What?
That's fine. That's all I need.
I just need him to be like a top 5 scorer in the Premier League. Like, that's quite the ask.
If we as a team can put together like 80 goals, I don't think that's a big ask. No, the attacking talent we have: Raheem Sterling, Mason Mount, we have all these guys. I feel like that's not a big as a team. That's not a big ask. 70, 80 goals.
Bro said 80 goals. Cristiano had 18. Well, he had 18 goals last season.
70 goals. That's realistic.
Harry Kane has 17, but he wants 15 from Aubameyang.
You want okay? How many goals have you guys scored so far in this season? We're 3 weeks in.
3.
Okay, so you're scoring.
We got a lot of heavy lifting to do, Chris. I'm not saying it's not an uphill battle.
I don't know. What I can tell you is this: the bottom 3 is Wolves, Leicester City, West Ham, and not all 3 of them are.
None of them are getting relegated.
I don't know. I think Wolves could get.
Wolves could like
punch.
They don't have any like their attack.
You were on him about that when he brought that up.
I don't know because they just got Gonzalo Guedes, and he could score 10 goals for easily. I don't know. I'll have to see. I think Everton is probably going to get relegated. But
I said Everton.
No shot West Ham's getting relegated. No shot.
They got to turn it around.
If they get relegated, that's like the most disappointing
Southampton
thing I've ever seen in my life.
Probably going to be in that spot.
I had Everton, Southampton, and
it's probably 2 good shots.
Maybe Nottingham.
Nottingham looks fine.
Yeah.
They look like they're going to finish like 13th.
They'll finish mid-table.
Yeah.
It's all good.
They're fun.
Real Madrid's going to win the Champions League anyways, so it doesn't even matter.
Yeah, Barca gets knocked out.
Sick.
Barca's getting knocked out?
If Barca does get knocked out, yeah.
Real Madrid, Barca final.
I think it might be PSG Barca this year. PSG looks awesome. You know what actually looks awesome? Like
PSG looks awesome.
I'm going to ask you this question seriously. What looks different about PSG this season than last season when they got knocked out by Real Madrid?
That is fair. That's a fair question.
Nothing.
That's a fair shot. The midfield looks better. The defense looks better.
How?
They're actually playing like 2 midfielders that like want to be there instead of like Guy and it's not like Guy and like Herrera and like Marquinhos playing out of position like Daniel Pereira. It's like Verratti's actually starting consistently. They're gonna have Renato Sanchez. They have like Vitinha, who's been very good for them. So like
nobody's scared of no Renato Sanchez. This is not FIFA.
Nobody's scared of no Renato. What are you talking?
I'm scared of Renato Sanchez.
Bro,
I bet you my whole put a gun to my head. I bet you my whole life, scratch money. I bet you my whole life Luka Modric would make him tear both his ACLs.
I mean, I would.
And then he could chase him on a wheelchair, and the wheelchair will break off.
I could see Barca being like, who's actually been excellent. Like, shout out Chris Wolf for this Bayern. Bayern have been awesome so far this year.
What Bayern's gonna do is the same thing they do every year. They smash everyone in the Bundesliga, then they face an actually good team, and they fall on their face.
I don't deny it. I can't.
There's no way to be good if you're not constantly playing against good teams.
Obviously, I like them, but it is Bundesliga.
The new system.
Chris, just change your team. Just change your team.
Be a Leeds fan. This is
Dude,
the easiest time to
I've
get
already
Leeds.
said I'm like an undercover Wolves fan. Like if I'm gonna pick a Premier League team, I picked Wolves.
Well, it's gonna suck when your team gets relegated. Like
I'll pick a
relegation. I mean, it's good for pod content. But it's not good for like.
I feel like that's really good for character.
Imagine if Chelsea got relegated.
After all this,
that would be wild.
That would be hilarious.
I'm glad that I would be graduating in like May if we're getting relegated. This is a perfect time for me to have my sunset on the podcast. Chelsea gets relegated, then I can't come back and defend myself for a year.
Dude, I think I'm like older than Vinicius or something. It's like the craziest.
Isn't that so wild to think about?
Yeah.
Like you see people playing on like, international TV for these big time clubs, and it's like, yeah, he's actually younger than me.
This like I just moved my sister into college like over the weekend. She's like 18. This new dude that started at a right wing, it's like Jamie Given Simmons or whatever. He's from England for Dortmund. He's just like a month younger than my sister. He's started every game at right wing for Dortmund so far.
And that's why they suck. I'm just kidding.
It's the new Sancho, bro.
New Sancho. Watch. Now people think that Sancho's gonna like turn his career around, and he's just not.
It's one game. It's one game.
Man United are just their jerseys suck. You know what that? You know,
dude. What is that collar? I mean, it's the same with Chelsea. I don't know what.
I hate the Chelsea jersey.
Listen,
I went to a soccer.
Real jerseys have collars on them. That's just the truth.
Real talk about the Chelsea jersey though. My mom had never seen it. I went to a soccer store with her to because I want to see if they had Chelsea stuff like in Nashville where I was over the weekend. I was like, she's like, what is this? She's like, what is this one? And I'm like, oh, it's the new Chelsea jersey. She goes, ew, and walked out of the store.
Dang. How's it feel to be disowned by your mother right in front of you?
She didn't disown me. She disowned the club.
Shout out.
That is you.
She disowned me to my face when the Ukraine stuff was happening. Because I told her about the owner, and she's like, how could you support a club like that? I was like, yeah.
Disgusting.
Yeah, it's terrible behavior for me. Terrible behavior for me.
No, these collars are different. Collars can be on uniforms. Fully support.
I don't want to wear a Henley. I don't want to wear a Henley to a soccer game. Like
I don't know what that word is, but
Henley.
Nope.
It's like you're wearing like a t-shirt. It's got like 3 buttons.
I know what you're talking about.
Oh.
You know, like a shirt you'd wear like mosque.
Like a polo.
No. It doesn't have like the flip collar.
Oh.
It's just like like a shirt you wear to mosque.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah.
That is interesting.
Yeah. I asked you if you knew a shirt from a mosque.
I learned something new today.
But let's close it out. Basically, nothing. United Liverpool serves almost like as a trampoline for what looks like a really bad season from both of them if they don't figure things out. Especially United. I don't know. I keep picking on the formation, but I hate 4-2-3-1. Like it's not a real formation, bro. I think I had said it in the last episode, but modern day football is 4-3-3 or 3 at the back and some variation of midfield and attack, depending on your team. But I don't know. Ten Hag could surprise everyone. I still don't see what the point was of keeping Donny van Beek if you're not going to play him.
He got subbed in yesterday, I think, right?
But if he's not even going to start him or anything. But I think that if United were to really go for the overkill, they should still go try and get De Jong. But they're not going to do that. They already got Casemiro out of nowhere. I still don't know how that even happened. I think that was a horrible move by Real Madrid, and they're probably going to pay the price for it when it comes to playing the Champions League.
Frankie do Chelsea next summer. That's my prediction.
Frankie's not going to go anywhere. They're going to finally pay him his wages, and he's going to stay. Frankie's a baller.
He said the same thing about Casemiro, and then we saw how that went. So we'll see.
But it's crazy. Like I mean, there's nothing wrong about like predicting that Casemiro was gonna stay because that's just ridiculous. That's a ridiculous like
you just
thing.
You just spent like $80 million on a new midfielder that's younger, plays Casemiro's role, and does it arguably better than he does at this point. Like he was on his way out.
We are on the podcast.
Chouameni
does Casemiro's job better than Casemiro. Yeah, Casemiro's the number 1 rated midfield in the world.
Listen,
statistically, no one gets more ball retrievals. No one does.
What does Casemiro do that Chouameni can't do?
Play defense solidly.
What are you talking about?
Chouameni's like 12 years old.
He's a starter on the French national team.
Do you realize that Chouameni's only competition to this very second as we speak is literally 1 game in La Liga? While Casemiro has
He was excellent in France last year.
5 Champions League.
He was excellent in Ligue 1 last year.
My bad. While Tchouameni's been playing Ligue 1 and being fantastic, Casemiro was busy lifting the Champions League trophy. Like,
so real talk. Why did Casemiro leave?
Apparently, he wanted a new challenge. But why did he really?
Why
leave?
did he go to Man United if he wants a new challenge? Why did he take a step down?
Why did Iker Casillas leave? Why did Keylor Navas leave? Why did Cristiano Ronaldo leave? Why did Sergio Ramos leave?
Keylor left because.
Why did Marcelo leave?
Okay, Keylor left because he got benched.
Real Madrid, when it comes to players' ages, they start getting iffy with the players. Like Cristiano could have stayed, but they didn't want to give him. Like I don't even remember. They always say they just want a new challenge, but Sergio Ramos didn't stay because they didn't want to give him a 2-year contract. But Real Madrid only does 1-year contracts after you get to a certain age, which Luka Modric agreed to, and that's why Luka Modric is still there. But I don't know. I think it has something to do with like the fact that he was already like he wasn't old, but
he's kind of limited as a. I mean, he's a great defensive mid, but he's kind of limited as a player.
He's a baller. He's a baller.
I'm not saying he's not a great midfielder, but like in terms of like his passing ability, he's a little limited compared to like someone like Tchouameni or like Camavinga that can play that spot, or even Cruz.
He's so drastically better than them, it doesn't even matter. He's a baller. He left a new challenge or whatever, but he's like getting old, and Real Madrid's iffy about those kind of players, and they just let him go because they have 3 guys standing behind him. So it was, you could get money for a player that age, and you have backups. Of course, you're gonna take it.
I think
it was like
if someone's
a good business decision.
That's a fantastic business. Someone's going to throw you like $70 million for an aging defensive mid
that we have
like
a replacement
over 30.
For.
Yeah. But he's gonna be the best. He's gonna be the best CDM in that league, for sure. Defensively, no one's. Conte's not touching that. Rodri's not touching that. No one. Declan Rice isn't touching that.
We'll see.
Best defense. That's a shout over Rodri.
He's gonna have the most tackles. You're gonna have the most yellow cards, the most red cards,
over
the most.
Fabinho.
All day.
Over Declan Rice.
Bro, Casemiro will bench Fabinho for the Brazil team any day. Over Declan Rice all day. Who's Declan Rice, bro?
Declan Rice is currently in last.
That is true.
Who's Declan Rice, bro? So. Danny Ceballos is a better CD than Declan Rice. Get out of here. Declan Rice ain't no one, bro. He hasn't won anything.
You're really high on Danny Ceballos.
Danny Ceballos is trash.
But so is Declan Rice, so it's just less trash.
Declan Rice isn't trash.
Right, you've hyped Danny Ceballos up like 3 separate times.
Because he's on that team, so I have to keep mentioning him because it's part of their depth. But nah, bro, Luka Modric is better than everyone, so it doesn't matter. But final thing, Cristiano Ronaldo, what happens with him? I swear to God, I want him at Real Madrid. I don't care how old he is.
This is week 3 or 4 in a row of talking about Ronaldo, but
I want Ronaldo on my team.
Sporting Lisbon.
Dude, he looks miserable on the bench.
Ronaldo should go to Real Madrid for a cheeseburger a week.
I think he should go.
Best of luck getting him to agree to that.
Dude, you're already a millionaire, bro.
He makes.
Doesn't matter.
Already a millionaire,
Does not
I mean,
matter.
off of like purely off of like endorsements, he makes about the same
He's
as like Messi's contract.
Scratch a millionaire. He might be a billionaire, bro. Like, shut up. Stop asking for so much money. You're like 300 years old, bro. Come play at Real Madrid. Make a final 1 or 2 runs at the Champions League. Every team's in shambles, bro. The only teams that are solid, and I don't even know if Real Madrid is like solid because of losing Casemiro now. It's like Man City and Real Madrid, bro. Everybody else is question marks. Bayern, are they gonna be able to be as effective against the big teams because they're just gonna smash through everyone in the Bundesliga? Effectively, like the last decade, they showed that that's not the case. I don't trust PSG any year. I don't care who they get. PSG is just never gonna win. They just never do. So
I mean, the Ronaldo thing is like it's just crazy. Like I understand why, but like nobody wants Ronaldo. It's like Ronaldo. Like
I don't understand.
I heard like last week I was reading like a report. He got offered to Dortmund. Dortmund said no.
He's not a Dortmund player, though.
Yeah,
I know. But they were saying like because they want to play like focus on like Adeyemi and like the younger guys.
As they should. That's their identity.
That's fair.
Real Madrid should get Cristiano Ronaldo back. 100%.
Let's play right wing.
Play him anywhere. He's gonna score goals. The best goal scorer on planet Earth ever. He's gonna score goals for you, bro. It doesn't matter how old he is. Yeah, he doesn't run like crazy anymore, but gets that ball in the box. I would not pick anyone else over him to take a shot.
I think I'm on the Chris Will grind. Ronaldo to Wolves. I kind of like that.
Yeah.
That'd be funny, but that would never happen.
Yeah.
They're sitting 18th, bro. He's not.
Legacy season.
Legacy man.
Remind everybody who Ronaldo is.
Get some reps with Portugal before you go to the World Cup.
Yeah.
Legacy season is going to Real Madrid, bro. I'm not bringing it back to Liverpool. Man United. End it right now. End it right now. Cue the music.
If I mumble the music, we don't get copyright stricken, right?
Oh, true. Just sing it for us.
Da 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 da. I don't know how it goes.
And then phase it in there.
That was good.
That was good.
That was good.
We should end it like that every time.